Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hey, Dazza and Greedy. How you guys doing? So we are looking like we are on track for our mission today. SpaceX is targeting Saturday, December 24th for Falcon 9 launch of SARah-2 mission to low Earth orbit from Space Launch Complex 4, SL4E, at Vandenberg Space Force Base in California. There's an 83-minute launch window that opens at 5:11 a.m. So it looks like we're about 15 minutes out currently from that launch. A live webcast for this mission will begin on SpaceX about 15 minutes prior. That broadcast has begun. And this is the 8th flight for the first stage booster supporting this mission. Previously launched SDA-0A and 6 Starlink missions. Following stage separation, the first stage will land on LZ4 at Vandenberg Space Force Base. So it will land on land. And this is an interesting mission. Today we're launching 2 satellites with passive synthetic aperture radar reflectors for the German military. So I'd imagine that there would be some kind of, well, here, let's just join SpaceX.
At T minus 5 minutes and 15 seconds, all systems are go for an on-time liftoff of the Falcon 9 two-stage rocket that you see there on your screen. The range is ready to support, and weather is looking great for 100% probability of good weather at T0. The entire vehicle stands 230 feet tall.
Good.
Roughly the height of a 20-story building. The bottom 2/3 of the vehicle is the first stage and the primary part of the rocket that gets reused over and over again. Today will be the 8th flight for this particular booster, having previously launched
Yeah, we already said that. So we have a pretty standard mission profile out of Vandenberg Space Force Base. We're in right after that Falcon 9 begins engine chill, and we're starting to see the strongback retract. So the strongback is the thing that takes the rocket from horizontal to vertical, excuse me. And as we get closer to launch, it moves back a few degrees, and then it moves back about 15 degrees to prepare for launch. After that, our next major milestone will be ground gas closeouts. Then we'll have Falcon on internal power, which means that the rocket will take over the count and all the things associated with it. And T minus 1 minute, we have propellant tank pressurization. T minus 45 seconds is when we know it's go time. From there, we'll get a go no go poll, and then it's showtime. We're just waiting on that. So.
It is slow and slight, but you can see that the TE is almost fully reclined there. And the next milestone coming up is liquid oxygen loading completion on the first stage vehicle. Prop loading will complete on stage 2 at the T-minus 2 minute mark.
Stage 1, LOX load is complete.
And there's that call out that LOX loading is complete on the first stage. That means that the first stage vehicle is now fully loaded with RP1 and liquid oxygen. Again, we are continuing to load propellants on the second stage. Liquid oxygen is what is left. And again, that will conclude at the T-minus 2 minute mark.
This lady talks way too much. So, puffy stuff.
And so far, all systems are go for an on-time liftoff. The range is green, and again, we have 0% chance of probability of violation for weather at T0.
Meeting with the warm air surrounding it, and it creates the puffy stuff. So that's completely normal. It's just oxygen. And yeah, we like to see puffy stuff because that means we're getting very close.
We are expecting that the stage 2 vehicle is fully loaded with liquid oxygen. And it's also worth noting that at the request of
stage 2, LOX load is complete.
And there's that call out for confirmation of propellant loading completion on Falcon 9. It's also worth noting that at the request of our customer, we will be ending the webcast with first stage landing about 8 minutes into the mission.
Which is not uncommon because it's a defense contractor.
The next milestone coming up will be Falcon 9 in startup,
if they went any further
and
than
stage
that,
1 and stage 2 will also begin to pressurize for launch
compromise the satellite
at the T-minus 1 minute mark.
Falcon 9 is in startup.
And great news, the internal flight computers have taken over the launch countdown. Now we are waiting for the final call from the launch director.
LD is go for launch.
Go for launch.
And you heard that call out. We are go for launch. So all systems are go for an on-time liftoff of Falcon 9.
So now we just wait T-minus 30 seconds coming up.
T-minus 30 seconds.
Go Falcon 9, go SpaceX.
T-minus 15 seconds.
And again, this is from Vandenberg in Southern California.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ignition and liftoff of Falcon 9. Vehicles pitching downrange. Stage 1 propulsion is nominal.
This one was very interesting because they started that downrange pitch maneuver immediately. Usually you get some altitude underneath you before you start that. And that means essentially turning, because you have to turn with the curvature of the Earth.
We are T plus 40 seconds into flight, and Falcon 9 has lifted off. Falcon 9 is now throttling.
Telemetry nominal.
Falcon 9 is throttling down its engines in preparation for max Q, or the highest amount of aerodynamic pressures that the vehicle will see on ascent. We throttle down the engines to slow the vehicle down a bit.
Max Q.
And there's that call out that we've passed through max Q. Next up, we have 6 events coming up in quick succession. That will be MECO, stage separation, stage 1 flip, SES-1, the boost back burn on the first stage starting up, as well as fairing deploy.
Kill has started.
MECO is main engine cutoff. That's where we shut down all 9 of those engines that you can see there lit up on your screen. That will help slow the stage down to prepare for stage separation. Stage 1 then will begin a flip maneuver and start up its boost back burn and allow it to head back down to land, while the second stage continues with SES1 or second stage engine start 1. That's where we ignite that MVAC engine, and then we should also hear a call out for fairing deploy. Again, all of those events coming up here.
Vehicle is on a nominal trajectory.
In about 10 seconds or so. MECO stage separation, stage 1 flip, SES1, boost back burn, as well as fairing deploy.
Main engine cutoff.
So we've got
Stage
MECO,
separation confirmed.
good stage sep.
MVAC ignition.
Stage 1 boost back burn.
We're starting to see that flip of the first stage booster that will return to Earth.
Fairing separation confirmed.
And great news, we had all of those events. That was MECO stage separation. The first stage began its flip as well as its boost back burn. And the MVAC engine has ignited on the second stage, as well as we heard confirmation of fairing deploy. As a reminder, at the request of our customer, we won't be sharing any further views of the second stage, and we will be following stage 1 from this point forward.
Stage 1
Oh, we
boost
aren't
back
even going to
shutdown.
get the payload stage at all.
And with that call out, we've had the boost back burn conclude.
This is an interesting mission
At T
profile.
plus 3 minutes and 45 seconds into launch, we've so far completed 1 of 3 burns that the first stage will need to complete in order to make its way back to a land landing today. The second burn coming up will be the entry burn, and that's where we'll ignite 3 of the Merlin N1D engines to help slow the stage down as it re-enters the upper parts of the Earth's atmosphere. That entry burn is coming up in just a couple of minutes. And then the third and final burn for the booster today will be the landing burn, and that will be a single.
Countdown at 1. First motion time was 13:11:00 Zulu.
That will be a single engine burn, and that helps slow down the vehicle just as it touches down for landing.
So with the aggressive turn, they had to actually boost back the rocket.
Vehicles are
land
on
it-
a nominal trajectory.
to land it on land. So they immediately flipped it, went the other direction, nearly slowed it, and now we're closer to the landing zone. So we'll see that speed pick up.
We are just under 1 minute and 20 seconds away from the entry burn on the first stage.
And then we'll see the entry burn where it will slow it down slightly. It will speed back up again before it starts encountering atmosphere. We'll see speed bleed off very rapidly as our altitude lowers. And then
Now what you're
there'll be
seeing
a
on your
landing
screen
burn.
is a view of mission control, but the first stage is indeed making its way back to land to attempt to land at landing zone 4 today. And in order to land back at land, we do need 3 burns for the first stage. The boost back burn has concluded. And coming up in about 20 seconds or so will be the entry burn. That burn lasts just under 15 seconds long, and again helps to slow the vehicle down as it enters back into the Earth's atmosphere.
Hey, what's up, Bri? Successful launch. The payload is the German military payload, so we're not getting telemetry or data from the first stage or the second stage.
Stage 1 entry burn.
The first stage is about to land. So
And there we heard that call out, and you can see on your screen that the engines has reignited on the first stage vehicle. Again, this is just about a 15-second burn.
Stage 1 entry shutdown.
Their altitude's much lower.
Stage 1 FTS is safe.
This has been a really interesting mission.
And as you heard and saw, the entry burn is now complete. Next
Now
up
it's just
will
gonna
be
keep
the
bleeding
last
feet.
and final burn for the first stage vehicle. That will be the landing burn, and that's the center E9 engine reigniting just before the vehicle touches down. Again, we are scheduled to land on landing zone 4 today. And landing zone 4 is not too
Stage
far
1
away.
transonic.
Huh.
Not too far away from our launch site.
Stage 1 landing burn.
And there's that call out for the landing burn, and you can see on your screen that the single engine has ignited. Let's watch as Falcon 9 touches down.
Stage 2 FTS is safe. Stage 1 landing and deploy.
And touchdown.
Stage 1 landing is confirmed.
That was a really
And
cool
what
mission
an
profile.
excellent view there of Falcon 9 touching down on landing zone 4. This marks our 256th overall successful recovery of an orbital class rocket, including both Falcon 9 and Falcon Heavy first stage landings. With that, at the request of our customer, we are going to bring our webcast to a close. Thank you to OHB for entrusting us with today's mission. And thank you all for tuning in, and happy holidays.
So good job, SpaceX. That was a really interesting mission profile because of the way that they had to come back to land very close to where they took off, and the very aggressive mission profile that took it. I mean, it started nearly immediately. Well, we didn't get to show the doohickey, but so as soon as they took off, they immediately started that right turn, really aggressive, and then so we had that flip, the boost back. So immediately it started boosting back towards the landing zone. And then we had a couple different burns, and we were already well within the atmosphere before we started entry burn. So that one was neat. And not something that they've done much, but all right. Well, that's going to be it for me. I hope everyone has a very Merry Christmas, and I will be off until the 26th. So hope everyone has a great Christmas and all that good stuff, and we'll see you after the holiday. Thanks for watching. Hit the thumbs up on your way out. Take care, y'all.